Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcoming you to yet another Stone Cold Hockey video, and we're going to be doing something very special for Stone Cold Hockey. We are going to be doing a tribute match between the 1966-68, what am I talking about, LA Kings, and the 1973 Alberta, soon to be Edmonton Oilers. The reason why is, you see on the list, is the Eddie Joyal tribute game. And I know Eddie Joyal's not really a household name for hockey, but, I mean, where else do you get, like, to see a WHA icon and an NHL icon? This is him, Eddie Joyal, born 1940, died 2026 today. He played in the NHL for Detroit, LA, and Philly, and then in the WHA for the Oilers for 4 years. He was born in St. Albert, Alberta. I believe that's Mark Messier's hometown, too, St. Albert. Maybe supposed to be right. Anyway, he signed on with the Red Wings. Of course, when he played junior hockey, the draft didn't start yet. He signed with the Red Wings organization. He actually helped the Red Wings win Game 5 of the 1964 Stanley Cup Finals, which was supposed to basically put them up to win the Cup in 64 against the Leafs. But the Leafs, of course, Bob Bond, Game 6, and his heroics at Game 7, that shutout. The job. He would play one season in Detroit, was traded to Toronto, playing 14 games. And then he played in the AHL. Contrary to popular belief, he was part of the Leafs organization in 1967, but he didn't win a ring because he was in the AHL the whole time. And then when LA claimed him in the expansion draft, it helped him. He played 4.5 years on the West Coast. 3 times he was a 20-goal scorer, including 33 goals in 1969. He was traded alongside Russ Lonsberry, Cowboy Flat, and Sean Potvin to Philly for Serge Bernier, Bill Lenzik, and Jim Johnson. He was basically a role player, and then the WHA drafted him, and he played 4 years for the Oilers organization. So you see on his stats, 1966-67, he played for Rochester in the AHL. That's Toronto's home club, and of course he was not eligible for the Cup because he didn't play in the NHL at all. Then he went to LA, and his career finally blossomed. And then he went to the WHA. So that's what we got. So we're gonna be doing a 7 game thingy, Bobby. Between the 68 Kings and the 73 Alberta Oilers. Alberta will start first on home turf. Yeah, you don't see any NHL WHA matchup. If Bobby Hall was still alive, we would do that. But anyway, yeah. Game 1 saw LA win 4-1 as Wayne Rutledge beat what was it? I was like Jim Norris. I think it was his name. Anyway, LA scored 2 goals by Robinson, one by Campbell, one by Brian Campbell, one by Rail Lemieux, 2 by Robinson. Joyal did not have a point. Alberta's goal was scored by McNeely from Al Hamilton and Falkenberg. Yeah. Well, Norris. Well, anyway, game 2. And Alberta come back to win 2-0. Ken Brown with the shutout over Terry Sawchuk. Hamilton scoring for Alberta, and then Wall from Perkins. 2-0. Game 3 in Los Angeles. LA wins the Great Western Forum 5-3. Rutledge beats Norris. I think that's Jack Norris. Alberta goes by Blanchette, Al Hamilton, and Ray Cote. Joyal did not have an assist. LA goes by Gray, Wall, Lemieux, Cowboy Flat, and then Gray again. Joyal did assist on Cowboy Flat's goal. Game 4 sees LA win 3-2. Whoops. That was not supposed to happen. I was supposed to do game 5. 3-2 as Rutledge beats Norris. Alberta goes by Pettinude and Wall. LA goes by Terrible Ted Irving. Break the walls down. Bill White with 2. Joyal did not have an assist. Game 5 in Alberta. Yeah, so Alberta win 5-1. Brown beats Sachek. Val Fontanen, Walters, Harrison, Walters, and Barry scoring goals. Joyal with no points, and Hughes for LA. Now we go to game 6 in Los Angeles. Now we can play. So it's the 73 Alberta Oilers. Jack Norris, the former Chicago Blackhawk and Boston Bruin goalie. He was involved in one of the most lopsided NHL trades of all time, the Phil Esposito trade from Chicago to Boston, because Chicago was tired of him being lazy and not scoring the playoffs. But with Boston and Bobby Orr, he exploded, and Chicago was left with buck and egg on their face. Ken Brown, I can't remember if he was in the NHL. 68 LA, their goaltending is Wayne Rutledge, Terry Sawchuk, and Jacques Caron. Terry Sawchuk, an iconic goalie for the Red Wings, then the Bruins, and back to the Red Wings, and then with the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup in 1967, but they can only protect one goalie, so they projected Bauer instead of Suchuk. That's all right. Oh, it worked out for both teams. Rutledge will face Norris. LA was 2 games below 500. 73 Alberta was 1 game above 500. For the Alberta Oilers, Jim Harrison once scored, what was it, 8 assists, 7 assists in 1 game to set a record. Al Hamilton, who's number 3, is retired by the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think he played for the Edmonton Oilers. I think he played in the NHL. I think he just played AHL. Russ Perkins, Rusty Penanude, Ron Walters, Bob Wall, Val Vontanen, known as Mr. Clean, who went through, what was it, 5 straight seasons without a penalty in the NHL, which is hard to do. Eddie Joyal, a 57-64 for scoring. He's up there. Bill Hick, Brian Carlin, Doug Barry, Ron Anderson, Ken Baird, Bob Falkenberg, Steve Carlisle, Dennis Cassian, Bob McNeely, Bertie Blanchette, Roger Cote, and John Fisher. Say Foster. Los Angeles with Joyal is the second main goal scorer, but he has not scored a point for the Kings. Bill Cowboy Flett, who went on to do better things for the Flyers. Lowell McDonald, who did well for Atlanta when the Atlanta Flames were around. Ted Irving, break the walls down. Well, his son is Chris Jericho. Bet you didn't know that. Gord LeBoisette. Rael Lemieux, who was okay. Terry Gray. Bill White, who was part of the Summit Series 1972 for Team Canada. Brian Smith, who was a decent guy who became a broadcaster, an Ottawa broadcaster, but was gunned down in 1996. Howie Menard, Howie Hughes, Doug Robinson, Brian Campbell, not related to the defenseman Brian Campbell. Bob Wall, Brett Hughes, Dave Amadeo, Dale Rolfe, who was pummeled in submission in 1974 as a member of the Rangers by David Hammer Schultz, and people criticized the Rangers for not having anyone stand up for Rolfe. But the rules were at the time there was a third man in penalty that would have got him ejected. Brian Kilray, OHL fans know who the heck he is. Started coach for the Ottawa 67s throughout the years. Jim Anderson, Billy Ingles, Jacques Lemieux, Jim Murray, Mike Corrigan, Larry Johnston. So here we go. Timing 2 minutes. Battle, control, defense, action for the home team. No shot by Amadeo. Much later, 6 minutes later. Battle. Battling on Alberta. It's Cassian. Los Angeles with a chance. Greg cannot get the shot. Second chance for Rael Lemieux. No, he couldn't get it. 3 minutes later. Battle, control, defense, action for the home team. He's rattling. Norris is rattled. Get on him. I think they go. 3 minutes later. Action. Alberta Skiers. Oh, that Rusty. SCTV sketch. Rusty Penitude, his second from Barry and Perkins. Let's have some. Are you giving me attitude or panitude? And that will end the first period. Alberta leads 1-0. 3 minutes later. And Russ Perkins tried, but he fails. 2 minutes later. LaBoisser, 8-0 from Boisser. I know there was a player named Lafreboisser being Raspberry, but LeBoss, the boss. Who's LeBoss? Lavoisier, that is his first from Joyal, 1-1. 2 minutes later. Much later. And then Alberta kick. Can I like Terry Gray? No. Shot? Oh, Lowell McDonald had a chance. It's 1-1 after 40. Third period. Much later. Chance for Joyal? No, he was trying, but it was blocked off by the defenders. 3 minutes later. Wolf. Oh boy. Ron Anderson killed the cylinder, which means that the segment's killed. 5 minutes later. Chance for LA? No, Joyal. And the action goes to Holt on the boards. 3 minutes later. Chance for LA. I'm dreaming of a Bill White Christmas. His third from Terry Gray makes it 2-1. Alberta's in deep trouble. That timing dice is one. Empty net chance. Oh, Pettigrew missed. And that's an empty netter. And there we go. Joyal to the world. Joyal to the world. Los Angeles gonna win this series. Joyal to you and me. Well, how fitting was it that Joyal is the one with the dagger from WHA and Lowell McDonald. 3-1 LA. They're gonna win this series. Well, how appropriate that Eddie Joyal, the first goal from either side, was the winning goal. So, well, from the winning side, yeah, but the goal that iced it all in overtime. Nice job by LeBoissois. LeBoissois with 2 points himself, and Joyal with 2 points. Bill White is the hero. Good thing he was on the Summit Series team. So let's take a look. Joyal had no points on the 1973 team. 5 from Harrison, 5 from Hamilton. That led all. Bill Hick. No. Doug Berry had 3 points, and he had a better losing shooting thing than Joyal. Jack Norris could not win. Ken Brown could not lose. They should have kept Ken Brown in the net. Los Angeles. Rutledge was 4-0. Suchek going 2. So, yeah. When Rutledge was in the net, they were El Perfecto. 7 goals against, and 175. Not bad. Eddie Joyal had just 3 points, a goal and 2 assists. LeBoissois and White with 5 points. Ted Irvin, Rel Lemieux, and Brett Hughes with 4, and Joyal tied with 3. Joyal had a goal just like Bill White, Rel Lemieux, Terry Gray, Doug Robinson, Cowboy Flett, Ted Irvin, Gordon LeBoissois, Brian Campbell, Bob Wall, and Brett Hughes. Assist-wise, he had 2 of them, behind only LeBoissois, Irvin, Smith, and Hughes. Joyal had 1 penalty. Amadeo had 13 penalty minutes for LA, Bob Wall with 10. Joyal had a minor penalty for Alberta, 19 minutes of penalties by Ken Baird. But that was it. Highlights. Oh, they even have like what the fixed fan score was. Well, in the end, Los Angeles Kachi. Yeah, I know. It should have been longer because of the Alberta with that stuff. But, maybe LA would have won that thing. But yeah, Eddie Joyal is the guy who played for the WHA and NHL and actually did well in both things after the expansion draft. Leaf fans probably wish they had him, but what can you do? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.